Dear listeners, this week's Parsha is Parshas Vayishlach. In it we learn about the famous encounter between our forefather Yaakov and his brother Esav. And during the conversation, Esav said, I don't, Yeshli Rov, I have very much, Yeh Lecha, you may have what you have. In other words, when Yaakov wanted to present him with his present, Esav said, Yeshli Rov, I have very much, I have much and I don't need it. And Yaakov in his response answered also, Chanani Elokim, the Eternal gave me Yeshli Koil, and I have everything. And Esav said, Yeshli Rov, I have a great deal. And Yaakov said, Yeshli Koil, I have everything. It seems to me that we may say that during that, by this difference between Yeshli Rov, I have a great deal, and Yeshli Koil, is reflected a different attitude between Yaakov and Esav, because there were two opposite characters. While Yaakov was interested in the spiritual life and had no interest in material success, Esav was exactly the opposite. He was a Ish Sodeh, was interested only in material existence, and the moral and spiritual values left him cold and had no interest for them. So Yaakov said, Esav said, Yeshli Rov. He boasted that he possesses as many possessions, and this gave him a sense of pride and arrogance and a sense of a personal importance. And Yaakov said, Yeshli Koil, because there is a difference between Yeshli Rov and Yeshli Koil. The Baal HaTanya explains in this week's Sedra that when Yaakov said, Katonti mikol achsodim mikol emes asher sisa im avdecha, I have become small as a result of the kindness that you have done with your servant. So the Baal HaTanya explains that it means to say that when Esav has possessions and riches, as a result of his possessions, his self-importance grows. He becomes proud and arrogant and feels himself great and is very proud of his accomplishments, because he takes the credit for himself and he shows, look what I possess. On the other hand, Yaakov, the more he receives, he feels the presence of the Eternal. He does not look at the possessions themselves. He concentrates on the source. Where do the possessions come from? They come because of a gift of the Eternal. More than the Eternal gives him, he feels the presence more. He feels the presence of the Eternal, and as a result, he feels his own unworthiness and self-nullification. More he receives, the more he is aware of the presence of the Eternal, and he becomes more humble and more unworthy in his own eyes. So there's the difference. Esav looks at the possessions and they bring him pride and arrogance and self-importance, and Yaakov looks at the source of his possessions, and the source is the Rabbeinu Shalom, the Eternal, and as a result of that he becomes katonti, he becomes smaller in his own eyes, because he's nullifying himself before the presence of the Eternal. This is the difference. Esav says, Yeshli Rov, and he boasts about the many possessions that he has in his domain, and this brings him a greater arrogance, while Yaakov, the more possession he has, it brings him a deeper humility and a greater sense of nullifying himself before the Eternal. So for us it's also important to remember that as long as we recognize not only what we have, but the source where it comes from of the Rabbeinu Shalom, then we really accomplish our purpose in life, and we realize that we can depend totally on the grace of the Eternal. Thank you very much, and have a good Shabbos.